A couple of years ago, Grady and I got invited to playtest a new tabletop RPG system called Shift. Now, we play a lot of games, but this playtest session stood out to me for one big reason. Now, my philosophy with RPGs and adventures is that the most important quality a game can have is presenting challenging choices to the players. That's where the players feel their agency in the storytelling and making those hard decisions, and then what happens afterward is what players will remember when they think back to those old sessions. Now, often those choices are story-based. Who does your party side with in a conflict? Do they decide to play it safe and let a cherished NPC die, or do they full-heartedly jump in and perhaps cause a calamity? Rarely does an RPG system itself make decisions weighty and important, but that is the main quality that sets the Shift RPG system apart. You are going to be on the edge of your seat for every single roll, and I'm here to tell you why, as I preview the Shift RPG system from our sponsor, Hit Point Press. It is currently on Kickstarter, and you can always use the link in the corner or down below to check out the campaign page. But for now, sit back and let me tell you everything you need to know about the Shift RPG. Big picture first. Shift is a rules-light RPG system designed for flexible storytelling and rapid gameplay with a focus on player decisions. The core mechanics are really simple. Everything revolves around traits. You have 3 core traits: mind, body, and soul. Mind is for your intellectual abilities, body is for your physical abilities, and soul is for social and personality-based abilities. Then you'll have traits for character and world-specific things, like your grandfather's trusty greatsword, or your meticulously crafted power armor, or your superhero's ability to shape fire, or your crack starfighter piloting abilities. And this is where things get interesting. Each of these traits is assigned a die, from a D4 to a D12. When you take an action, you roll the appropriate die for that trait. No matter what die you're rolling, a success is always a roll of a 1, 2, or 3. So, if you are rolling a D4, you have a 75% chance of success. On a D12, it's just 25%. But here's the kicker. If you critically fail by rolling the top result on any given die, like a 4 on a D4 or a 6 on a D6, you shift the die down by 1 interval. So your D4 for that trait becomes a D6, or your D8 becomes a D10, for example, making future uses of that ability more difficult. But if you critically succeed by rolling a 1 on any die, you get to shift up by 1 interval, a D6 to a D4, for example. Each trait has a maximum die value. If you're a master archaeologist, your archaeology trait might have a max die of a D4. But maybe you're not the best driver in the world, so your dune buggy ability or trait might max out at a D8. Traits also have keywords associated with them to help you further define them. For example, maybe Starship Engineer is one of your traits. You might pick keywords like Run Diagnostics or Repair, or even something like Pilot in a Pinch to describe your unique character. When something goes wrong, perhaps with a critical failure on a die roll that results in shifting a die down, your game master might assign one of your traits a temporary drawback that will hinder your future rolls. So for our engineer, they might get the drawback of core meltdown, or second degree burns, or hull breach. And that is why every decision in this game matters. Every time you decide to do something that requires a roll of the die, you risk that critical failure that might have repercussions for the rest of the session. In my playtest session, every time I had to roll, I had butterflies in my stomach, especially on those traits where I was rocking a D4. I didn't want to waste those rolls on actions that didn't really matter. So I found myself finding other creative solutions to problems and then picking and choosing those moments to roll out those high stakes abilities. Each choice I made in the game felt important, felt like a potential turning point for my character and our party and our story. And that's just the system. It could have been any setting, any adventure. It was a more intense experience than when I played D&D or Pathfinder. There is a little bit more to the rules. You have risky rolls and inspired rolls, which roughly map to advantage and disadvantage in D&D, with more chances to shift your die one way or the other. Those drawbacks I mentioned earlier might result in a disadvantage roll, or a risky roll in this case. And there are easy rules for turn order and movement, but that's kind of it. Character creation is just a matter of assigning a D6, a D8, and a D10 to your core traits, mind, body, and soul, and then designing 2 focus traits that define your character, one of which gets a D4 and one of which gets a D6. And then assign those 2 focus traits 2 keywords each, and that's pretty much it. Now you're ready to play. The system is really simple to learn, but robust enough to make each character feel distinct mechanically and narratively. As a GM, you can run in any setting you like, and the book provides a lot of examples on how to build settings and NPCs and vehicles and whatever else you need to using just their trait system. So now let's talk about the Kickstarter and what's on offer there. You can get in the door with Shift for just $19 with the PDF of the core rulebook. If you want the softcover book and the PDF, it's $29. And if you want the hardcover version of the book, which looks a little bit like this, plus the PDF of course, it is $39. And if you want the deluxe version with an alternate foil cover, that's $59. There's also a box set, which is probably going to be the sweet spot for most people. It includes the hardcover book, a GM screen, and 3 trait notepads to help you build your characters in your world, plus that PDF, and that's $65. And you can build out your own pledge levels with add-ons like more copies of the book or the GM screen and those trait notepads, plus they have special Shift dice sets that you can get. The campaign is ongoing as I'm making this, and like all fun Kickstarter campaigns, they have stretch goals to unlock more content. They've already unlocked a few campaign settings, like Dorado Station for your sci-fi western adventures, the Dragon Knights of Ilgara, which is a post-apocalyptic fantasy setting, and Blissville, a 50s-inspired horror setting. Other stretch goals include a romance setting and a superhero setting. To get all the details, use that link up there in the corner or down below to visit the campaign page. And as always, remember that Kickstarter is not a store. You are helping a project come to fruition, so you won't get your books right away. You can download the basic rules though right now for free on the campaign page, and you can check there for release dates and shipping costs. The PDF is planned for a January 2026 release, and the physical books are coming about a year after that. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comment section down below. I really enjoyed my time with Shift, and if you like games that are light on rules but heavy on stakes, I think you're going to enjoy it too. That's it for me today. For now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.